And they were at Anaheim Stadium. They played Mater Dei. They lost to Mater Dei. But 30,000 fans showed up at Anaheim Stadium, and high school football truly was the winner. This year, we're playing at the home of Loyola High School, which is Glendale High School, and has a capacity of 8,800. It's going to be very, very cozy tonight, if not to mention a little inadequate. But Len Venture, it's semifinals nonetheless.
Well, and it is a huge, huge football game. And having said that, there is a problem with the venue. As Denny pointed out, it's not very good. And also a surprising lack of publicity for this game during the week, considering that it's Division I semifinals. But let's now talk about the Griffins. The Griffins are peaking. They have won 5 games in a row, and they're playing real well. Kevin Federick is throwing the ball well, and last couple of games, he's been getting good protection from his offensive line. Tony Hartley is #1 receiver in Orange County. Stan Guinness has 11 touchdowns. Ryan Gregnano scored 3 touchdowns on the ground last week, so the Griffin offense is playing well. On defense, the Griffins have been nothing short of terrific. Ohalete, Martinez, and Dave Bacani have been playing great football. Tony Hartley has 6 interceptions. Ryan Gregnano has 6 interceptions. So the Griffin defense has also been playing extremely well. Now let's talk about the keys to the football game. 3 keys, in my opinion. #1, the Griffin offensive line has to protect Kevin Federick. They have to give him time to throw. #2, the Griffin special teams have to play a little bit better. They've had a couple of breakdowns lately. They need to rectify that and have a good game. And finally, #3, the Griffins have to stop the running of the great Mike Vanis, the absolutely sensational running back of the Loyola Cubs. If the Griffins can do those 3 things, they're going to win this football game.
Well, we look forward to an outstanding football game. However, Coach Grady brings in a very, very strong program. And Fritz Pollard, I think we can call it a dominant program.
Well, Coach Grady has been here for 20 years, and 19 of those 20 years he's taken this Loyola Cubs team to the playoffs, a very impressive statistic. The last 2 years, they've been knocked off in the second round. However, it was to teams that eventually went on to win the CIF championship. Last year, that being Mater Dei, the year before Eisenhower. This Loyola team is very much in tune with this level of play in taking on a powerhouse like Los Alamitos. Another interesting point, the key offensively for the Loyola Cubs is in Michael Vanis. Coach Grady said that 3/4 of their offense is based on the ground, and Michael Vanis, a 180-pound senior, has been getting the call most of the year and has been successful. Their junior QB, Ray Casper, will go to the air, according to Coach Grady, if they get behind. Definitely not something they want to do early in the game. One final point that I think is interesting, when I spoke with Coach Grady earlier in the week and asked him how he felt about matching up against Los Alamitos, he said, quite honestly, we don't match up very well. However, we didn't match up very well against Fontana and upset them 31-15.
Well, this promises to be a most exciting football game. It's the semifinals, and to the victor goes the spoils. The one who winds up becoming victorious, next week they go to the Coliseum on December 9th. So sit back and relax, and we'll be right back.
Number 30.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just moments away from the kickoff of this very important semifinal football game. As you can see, the officials with the captains of the team, and we're going to await the coin toss to find out who is receiving and which goal the opposition will be kicking from. This football game, needless to say, is very, very important for both, as the victors will continue on to the finals at the Los Angeles Coliseum December 9th.
Call in the air. If I drop it, we'll do it again, okay? Good. Call tails. Toss is his.
Los Alamitos
You have your choice.
calling.
They want to defer their choice. You want the ball. Which goal you
I guess they haven't. They're just showing the coin.
Put your back to your goal. Put your back to your goal.
be kicking off to the Griffins as you see the full squad of Loyola on the sidelines just moments away from the start of this football game.
Loyola won the toss there, but they declined. They elected to kick. Actually, they deferred, so they'll receive at the beginning of the second half. They immediately show a lot of confidence in their defense. They have a name for their defense. They call it the Wolfpack, and they played well all year. And I don't know, I got to tell you, I don't know if that's the right decision. Here they come.
Loyola coming onto the field. The Griffins of Los Alamitos in the end zone under the goalpost, awaiting the time for them to come out. But there you see the Cubs of Loyola High School.
Here comes Los Alamitos High School.
We have a capacity crowd here at Glendale High School. And we must note that we have a couple of obstacles. Number one, the fog is rolling in, so that is not your transmission that is being impaired. It's actual fog that is out there. And Len, you and I are being challenged a little bit because the coaches on both sides of the field are on scissor lifts, and we're on the home side, which is the Loyola side, and we are confronted with the coaches of Loyola directly in front of us.
So, Denny, if you call that someone's at the 40, the next time you mention it, they may be at the 20. And we will have missed about 20 yards, but that's all right. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. You can see that football field. There is absolutely, that's not your problem with your eyes. That is simply no grass in the middle of this field. This field is in just about the worst condition of any field that I've seen in a long time. Certainly the worst condition that the Griffins have played under at any time this year.
All you are missing here is a rain. Because then you'd wind up having the quagmire, and that brings us back to a great game against Esperanza. Well, anyway, Los Alamitos fanning out on their special teams. Back deep is Stan Guinness and Ife Ohalite, number 1, as Loyola getting ready to kick off to start the semifinal Southern Section Division I football game, and the kick is up, and that is Ohalite, and he catches it in the end zone, just a foot in the end zone, but by high school rules, it'll be first down and 10 for the Griffins on the 20-yard line.
Let's see if the Griffins start out tonight with their no huddle. Great defense, the Wolfpack getting ready. Coach Grady showed a lot of confidence in this defense. He expects them to get good field position for his offense early on. Kevin Federer calling signals. They do huddle up the first time. And here come the Griffins.
Los Alamitos in their typical formation, 3 wide to the left. And that's Federick back to pass. Federick having plenty of time, and Federick finding a wide open, and it is dropped.
Stan Guinness was wide open on that play. Kevin Federick, excellent play action, had all day to throw the ball, threw the ball just a little bit too short. Guinness went down, unable to come up with the ball. Bad break for the Griffins, 2nd and 10.
And there you see the starting lineup of the Griffins, and Kevin Federick leading them out as the quarterback. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. And that offensive line, watch those young men as there's a handoff to Gregnano. Gregnano going straight on through after a short gain of around 3 yards, brought down by Robert Quigley. And there, the defense for Loyola, and take special note of their offensive line. It's Vivo, outstanding player, Kirwan, Pergine. These are their front fellas, and you got to watch them because this game probably will be determined off the in the trenches. 3rd down. Federick back to pass. Federick finding Stan Guinness. Guinness dancing, and looks like he will be close to the first down. Scott Walter brings him down, but it all depends where they spot the ball.
Well, it was good second effort. I think he made it. He had one man he had to beat, but we do have a penalty marker on the play, so let's hold on and check the call. Referee's talking. Actually, I don't see the flag. Let's check the referee. Yes, there is a flag.
It's a face mask that's going to be going against the Cubs, so they're going to tag on 15 yards in addition to the gain by Stan Guinness.
To the 45-yard line on the face mask call.
So it'll be first down and 10 from the 45-yard line.
45-yard line.
So the first break goes to the Griffins as the Cubs called for a face mask. Federick back to pass. Federick looking for Sean Stein. Sean Stein, the ball is overthrown. Scott Walter defending on the play.
I think Kevin Federick there saw that there was good defense on Sean Stein, and it looked to me like he threw it way up and out. Really, only Stein might have gotten it at the very sideline, or the ball would have gone harmlessly out of bounds, which it did. Second down, 10 yards to go. Good field position here, though, for the Griffins.
And good pressure by Robert Quigley from his defensive position from Loyola, so it'll be second down, as Len said. Federick on a one drop, and that is to Tony Hartley, and Hartley scampers for the first down. He's brought down by McGoldrick.
Good 15-yard gain by Hartley. Again, they got somebody out there one-on-one. They did get a good block on that play, and Hartley was able to scamper for the 15 yards before being driven out of bounds, and the Griffins suddenly at the 41-yard line here of the Cubs.
Federick handing off to Gregnano. Gregnano going left, and Gregnano is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe he picks up 1 yard, so it'll be second down and 9. Wesley Willard made the tackle.
And I think Quigley also there as well on that tackle. Griffins are going to be in a second at 9, and on the scissor list ahead of us, Denny, we can see the Loyola coach giving signals to his defense. So they are getting defensive calls from the sideline.
Federick looked like he's checking off. Back to pass, nice protection. That is a complete to Hartley. And Len, I think a special note, good protection for Federick by the offensive line for Los Alamitos. Chris Wood at center, McDonald and Larkin at the tackles, and De La Torre and Skaborski at the guards.
And we talked about it at the top of the show, Denny, that one of the keys to the game was for the Griffin offensive line to give the protection to Federick, and so far he's had it. Griffin's in a big third down and 3.
And that's handoff to Gregnano, and he just drives straight on ahead to right around the 30-yard line. Quigley again responsible for the tackle, but that's a first down for the Griffins.
Good job straight ahead running, good blocking by the offensive line, and so far the offensive line of the Griffins have controlled the line of scrimmage, giving time to Federick and opening a couple of holes for Ryan Gregnano.
So the Griffins absolutely driving and dominating right now. Federick back to pass, finding Hartley, and Hartley eludes one tackler, and Hartley gets inside the 20, and he's around the 15-yard line. So another first down for the Griffins.
Griffins doing a real good job of moving the football, and it was a good job on that play by Hartley to elude a would-be tackler and turn that from a short gain into a big gain all the way to the 16-yard line.
So with 9 minutes and 6 seconds left in the first quarter, Los Alamitos still in possession. It's a handoff to Gregnano, and Gregnano drives straight on through, gets down to the 12-yard line. John Williams made the tackle.
Griffins will move the ball out all the way from their own 20-yard line, and they've got the ball at the 14-yard line of Loyola. A very good early drive, and certainly this shows that the decision that the Cubs made at the beginning to defer so far has not worked.
Federick on a one-step drop, passes and completes it to Hartley, but he is dropped immediately.
And he was, I believe, dropped for a loss on that play. Yes, looks like a loss of 3 or 4 yards. Again, it was the one-step drop by Federick. He threw the ball out to Hartley. Hartley unable to get away. There was really good pursuit there by the Cubs. Griffins in a big 3rd and 11.
3rd and 11 for the Griffins.
Federick back to pass. Again, plenty of protection, but now the that protection breaks down, and Federick is sacked, and Joe Vivo came in, and he brings him down. So it'll be 4th down for the Griffins.
Well, that was a huge sack. Actually, that might have gone as a coverage sack. I thought that Federick had some time initially, then went under pressure. He went down. Denny, it's going to be fourth. Oh, we have a penalty.
There's a face mask against Loyola again.
Oh, what a huge break for the Griffins. Denny, they almost would have been out of field goal range on fourth down there. It might have been too far for Phillips, but instead a huge break for the Griffins. I think that will go as an automatic first down. Let's check the call by the referee.
It'll be first down for Los Al. The ball is placed on the 14-yard line.
So they don't even have the original line of scrimmage, but I believe that they do have. Oh, no, it's third down, Denny.
They still maintain third down.
Yes, it is 3rd and 8.
Federick back to pass. Federick finding, that is Dunbar.
Oh, a good catch there by Ryan Dunbar. And he got, I believe, inside the 5-yard line for a Griffin first down. It's going to be goal to go. Good coverage there on Dunbar. Good throw, though, by Federick right into his gut. And he went down, 1st and goal.
Ryan Dunbar making some outstanding catches, an important catch in last week's game, doing the same this week as it's a handoff to Gregnano going straight on through. Gregnano is short of the goal line.
Denny, I can't tell where that ball is. Maybe the 3-yard line? And you see there, number 50, Brian Rados coming in, 235-pound tackle. A lot of beef up there for Loyola as the Griffins probably look like they'll try to pound it in. Denny, good time for play action here. Good time for a fake and timeout.
A timeout is being called as Los Alamitos will go to the sideline. Well, with 6 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first quarter, Los Alamitos mounting an outstanding drive, but they're right there just a few inches away from pay dirt, and Loyola surely is tested right now.
One of the questions, of course, is what Coach Barnes is going to call now for his offense and what defensive signals we're going to get from the coaches of Loyola out there now talking to their players. I like play action here. Griffins, instead of coming right up the middle, up the gut, maybe a fake to Gregnano, a little play action by Federick, possibly a rollout and a pass.
So far in this drive, Kevin Federick 6 of 8 for 52 yards. Hartley with 4 receptions for 34 yards, and Gregnano 5 rushes for 10 yards.
4 receptions for Hartley. That's pretty impressive early in the game. Of course, he's got 75 catches this year. I guess we're now up to 79. Done a great job this year.
And that puts him over 1,500 yards on the season. And that's Federick still has the ball. And Hartley with the reception, touchdown, Los Alamitos.
3-yard touchdown pass to Tony Hartley, and the Griffins have driven the ball 80 yards in the first quarter, taking up almost half of the first quarter. That was a straight drop back there by Federick, and he got it into the corner of the end zone to Hartley. Kevin Federick looking rather matter-of-fact as he comes in being congratulated, and the Griffins fans very happy here as the Griffins get the early lead.
Phillips getting ready for the extra point. The kick is up. It is blocked. It is blocked by Loyola. So Los Alamitos has denied the extra point. Antoine Harris, number 80, wound up blocking the extra point.
6:36 remaining in the first.
On that touchdown pass, a little bit of play action there. Federick back, throws into the corner of the end zone. Tony Hartley just gets it in the corner before the defender gets there. 6-0 Griffins. Denny, one of the things I talked about at the beginning of the game is that one of the keys was good special teams work by the Griffins. I talked about some breakdowns in the last few games. We just had one of those breakdowns. The extra point missed, and the Griffins, instead of ahead 7-0, are only ahead 6-0.
That drive by Los Alamitos took 5 minutes and 24 seconds. It was 15 plays, 80 yards. Now Los Alamitos will kick off to Loyola. Back deep is number 21, John Hilvert, and number 37, their outstanding running back, Mike Vanis.
Two face mask penalties by Loyola definitely helped the Griffins on that 80-yard drive.
Phillips kicks it. It is picked up by Hilbert. Hilbert going to the left, gets over the 25 and gets real close to the 30.
I think he made the 30-yard line, so a good run back there by number 21, John Hilbert, 189-pound junior. And again, not a great job of special teams work by the Griffins. Pretty good field position for the Cubs to start their first drive of the game.
In the backfield for the Cubs, number 33, Matt Stoll, number 37, Mike Vanis. And we'll be seeing a lot of these two young men as this game unfolds.
Vanis is the tailback in the eye.
And there is Vanis. Vanis gets to about the line of scrimmage and still struggling to go a little bit ahead, but they're going to spot the ball on the 31. And there you see the starting lineup for the Cubs. Casper, the quarterback, he's a junior, but keep your eye on Stoll and Vanis, the running backs.
Let's go, Cubs! Offense! Offense! Second and 8.
Second down and 8 after a gain of 2 yards. Casper hands off to Vanis. Vanis cutting in over the left side, gets to the 35-yard line, maybe just a shade over the 35, and he's brought down by Brent Cooper. And as you can see, there is the defense of the Los Alamitos Griffins. And I could read them all off because they've all had outstanding years. And they're going to be tested tonight against a very strong running team of Loyola. Third down and 5. Vanis is the man in motion. Casper is back to pass. Casper completes the pass. He breaks away. Eric McGoldrick, the wide receiver, made a fine reception and a great move as he broke a tackle, and he has more than enough for a first down, not to mention the Cubs are now in Los Alamitos territory.
It's a good pass and actually a lot of extra yardage as a result of the missed tackle by the Griffins. And just like that, Loyola all the way to the 41-yard line of the Griffins.
Casper barking out the signals. And that's a handoff to Stoll. Stoll gains a couple of yards, and he's brought down by Mike Kahn.
One of the things I want to talk about, Denny, is the last play where Mike Vanis was in motion and became a receiver down the middle, and the ball was not thrown to him. However, he is an all-purpose back. In addition to all the running he does, they will throw him the ball a lot of times. And, in fact, I thought he was open down the middle, although they got a great gain anyway. This team can pass when they need to.
Second down and 7. Ball is on the 38-yard line.
Casper, the quarterback.
Casper back to pass. It's complete to Vanis. George Martin brings him down, but George Martin is just flagged, and undoubtedly that's going to be a face mask.
Well, he brought him down all right. He had all mask. And now, this is an unusual game. We've had 3 penalties in this game, and I think every one of them is a face mask. Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure that one's going to go for 15 against Martin. Let's check that. That didn't look like a 5-yarder to me. Big 15-yarder.
That's 15 yards. The referees are winded after going that far. So it'll be first down for Loyola. And now the ball is on the 23-yard line of the Griffins.
First and 10 for Loyola now. 23-yard line. Casper, Stoll, and Vanis in the backfield. There we go,
Loyola driving and doing the same thing Los Alamitos did when they had the ball. And that's Vanis. Vanis on a little misdirection, and Vanis inside the 20-yard line, brought down by George Martin.
Loyola Cubs answering the Griffins here early in the football game, starting their first drive at their own 30. and down 6-0, but moving the ball well deep into Griffin territory. They are now in 4-down territory, so a gain of 3.5 or 4 yards works very well in this situation.
Ball is at the 19-yard line.
2nd down and 7.
Power I formation here.
Casper with a long count. And Casper still with the ball, looking for Peterson, finding Peterson, and Peterson inside the 5-yard line. Excuse me, that is Antoine Harris.
Antoine Harris is the tight end. They had double tight ends on that play. 2 wide receivers. It was the power I. Straight drop back by Casper. Found Antoine Harris up the middle. Lots of defenders there, but Harris got it inside the 5, and the Cubs are on the brink.
Well, we have 2.5 minutes left of the first quarter. Loyola doing exactly to Los Al what Los Al did to Loyola.
Trips in the backfield.
And that's a handoff to Stoll. Stoll going over the left side, brought down by Mike Kahn and Ryan Gregnano.
Good job of faking there by Casper, but it didn't work very well, and only about a yard on that play.
2nd down and 2. Clock is continuing to wind down as we're now under 2 minutes to play.
Full house.
Casper barking it out. Long count again, and that's to that is to Vanis, and Vanis in for the touchdown for Loyola. So Loyola answered the Griffins. So with 1 minute and 41 seconds left in the first quarter, Loyola puts up a 6, and now, Len, here comes the ever-important extra point.
Oh, that was an impressive run there by Vanis. Great blocking up ahead. He had both of his other backfield people out in front, pushed right through the right side and in for the easy touchdown. And now the extra point, which could put Loyola into the lead, 7-6.
Giampialo kicks the ball. It is no good. It is no good, wide to the right. So Len, Los Alamitos, they failed their extra point, and now Loyola did the same. There was pressure from Los Alamitos, and that was led by Brent Cooper. So it's a 6-6 tie.
Well, Denny, this has really been an interesting first quarter. We've played about 10.5 minutes. Each team has missed an extra point. Each team has committed a face mask penalty. Each team has had a long drive, one of 70 yards. The other team had 80 yards. There's the touchdown with Vanis going in, standing up, no trouble at all. And this has been, obviously, a very, very evenly played first quarter.
Okay, guys, let's let him hear you on the other side of the field.
Loyola will be kicking off to the Griffins. Back deep for Los Al. Number 25 Stan Guinness. Number 1, Ife Ohalite. The up men, Devon Griffin and Tony Austin. So a 6-6 tie. And this game is exactly what we expected. Hard-nosed football. And that is Guinness again in the end zone. So Loyola just boots that ball. So where it'll be 1st down and 10 for Los Al on the 20-yard line. Frederick, starting this drive now, is 7 of 9 for 55 yards. Hartley, 5 receptions, 37 yards, and a touchdown.
LATV Sports is brought to you by Orange County Container. Orange County Container is an award-winning manufacturer of boxes for all your industrial shipping and storage needs. Call Orange County Container today.
Frederick back to pass. Frederick looking long. Frederick looking for Hartley. Finding Hartley. What a catch by Tony Hartley on the 38-yard line of the Cubs.
Matt Peterson defending on that play, but Hartley went deep. He used his height. He had the look at the ball. Peterson did not have a good look. A huge gain for the Griffins of almost 45, I think 43 yards. And just like that, the Griffins on the 37-yard line of the Cubs.
Well, that kind of...
Plenty of time for Federick. Big throw in the air.
1st and 10 for the Griffins now.
Tony Hartley goes up, catches the ball. First down.
Grignano with the carry. Grignano going inside the 35-yard line. And he is brought down by Steve Preeging. So it'll be 2nd down and 6 for Los Alamitos.
2nd and 7.
All year long, Tony Hartley has been using his 6'2" height, and he has been doing a great job getting above the defenders and making the kinds of catches that you saw a moment ago.
Hartley handing off to Grignano. Grignano going left, finding a lot of running room. Grignano inside the 20, and he's down by Scott Walter. And he's inside the 15-yard line. First down, Los Al.
Oh, great run by Grignano. The play was designed to go up the middle, but he saw that people were there, so he bounced to his left to the outside and was able to find a hole and showed terrific speed actually after that, able to get all the way down to the 14-yard line.
Federick looking around. Stan Guinness is the man in motion, and again it's a handoff to Grignano. Grignano going straight ahead, corkscrewing his way, dives in for the touchdown. Los Alamitos, what a run by Ryan Grignano.
Grignano, 14-yard touchdown, his 4th touchdown in 2 games. He is on fire, and his offensive line is on fire.
Well, there's 12 seconds left in this first quarter of football, and that drive, 4 plays, 80 yards, 1 minute and 29 seconds, and that was all Hartley and Grignano.
Absolutely, and it's easy to figure out how many yards the Griffins have in this game, Denny. 80 and 80, 160.
The extra point try is up, and it is good. So now, with 12 seconds left in the first quarter, Los Alamitos pulls out with a 7-point lead, 13-6.
There is no seating available now.
Federick, straight handoff to Grignano, breaks through the hole, breaks 1 tackle, and look at him dive into the end zone. Look at all the tackles he was able to break.
And his knee never touched the ground. What great balance.
Great job. LATV Game of the Week is brought to you by Joe Partisse Insurance. Maximize your investments and savings with Joe Partisse.
Back deep for the Cubs. Number 21, John Hilbert, and number 37, Mike Vanis.
Mike Phillips will kick off.
Mike Phillips getting ready to address the ball as the kicking team of Los Alamitos fans out.
But how do you keep it away from Hilbert and Vanis? I wouldn't want to kick it to either of them.
Vanis on the 1-yard line. And Vanis is he is hit pretty darn hard as he crosses the 20-yard line. Mike Kahn put the punishment on him.
You may have seen some of the people there on the sidelines doing a little bit of yelling. They thought there might have been another face mask, but there wasn't. And good special teams job that time by the Griffins. And the Cubs only able to start this drive on their own 24.
Just starting the drive, Casper has 3 attempts, 3 completions for 44 yards. Vanis 4 rushes for 12 yards. So the defense of Los Al keeping their number 1 running back in check.
But not keeping the Cubs from scoring on their first drive.
And that is going to be the end of the first quarter of football. Los Alamitos with a 13-6 lead over the Cubs of Loyola. And being that this is the semifinal football playoff, we expected nothing less.
Well, we might have expected a little bit more defense from these two teams, but we haven't seen it so far.
Let's go to Fritz Pollard.
Hi guys, down here on the field, I hope you're warm up there because it's very chilly down here. There's a lot of moisture in the air and there's a thin layer of fog hanging over the stadium, which has put a layer of moisture on the grass, which could play into the later parts of the game. Let's look at the field for a moment. Between the hash marks and the 10-yard lines, there is not a blade of grass. I was talking to the equipment manager for Los Al earlier before the game started, and he said that the dirt was very compacted and may work to the benefit of a running game. The more dangerous part of this field may be between the hash marks and the sideline that is very clumpy. Mixture of dirt, dead grass, and living grass. It'll be interesting to see how that impacts the receivers. Very cold. Fritz Pollard down here. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Chris, as you were talking, they're doing a little bit of a flea flicker that winds up being unsuccessful as Tony Hartley makes the interception. It was a handoff to Vanis, who winds up handing it off. And I didn't pick up the number, but he threw the ball, and Tony Hartley right in front of it for the interception.
Well, the ball was intended for Matt Peterson. It was underthrown.
Penalty marker.
And we had an interception by the Griffins. But, Denny, I think we have a penalty.
That we do, and it looks like all that is going to go for naught for the Griffins.
Well, let's check the call.
Penalty marker.
Referee seems to be talking to the Cubs, but I don't know yet. Now he's calling one of the Griffins over.
So we haven't seen any signal from the officials of what actually transpired, but the way things are going, you have to feel that the Griffins were guilty of the infraction.
It was against the Griffins, and that is going to nullify that interception by Tony Hartley, although it's fair to say that that flea flicker did not work. There's the lateral, and that reverse the other way. The long throw there by Eric Goldrick, who's the wide receiver, but he threw it short, and Hartley was able to make the interception. But instead, it was a penalty against the Griffins, and the ball goes all the way out to the 39-yard line of the Cubs, where they will have a first down.
So far, both teams are equal when it comes to penalties. Both of them have 2 penalties for 30 yards. So if they're going to do it, they're going to do it right with big 15-yard penalties. First down for Loyola. Ball is on the 39-yard line. And there's still timeout on the field. And here we go. We're just about ready to play some football.
No turnovers yet in the game, but as you pointed out, 4 penalties, 2 against each team through the first 13 minutes or so of play.
And that's Vanis going over the right. No. Casper.
Well, we know it was good faking there, Denny, because I think he faked you out there. Ray Casper faked the handoff, held on to the ball, but he didn't really fool the Griffins, able to get out there for only about 3.5 yards.
And let's see if I can make up a little bit for that. Vershawn Davis made the tackle. Thank God Louis Guzman saw it, because I was on the wrong individual. So it'll be second down and 7, ball on the 43-yard line. Casper with another long count, and this time it is the handoff to Vanis.
Across the 45.
Vanis crosses the 45. He's brought down by Mike Kahn, so the ball will be on the 46-yard line of the Cubs.
Cubs now are going to be tested. They've got a third and about 3 yards to go. If they don't make it, they will probably have to punt. And so far, we've had all scoring. Griffins moved 80. The Cubs moved 70. The Griffins moved 80 again, and now the Cubs face their first third down test, third 3.
Number 93, Ryan Capalbo in at wide receiver.
Let's go, Cubs! Go, Cubs!
And that's a handoff to Vanis. And Vanis gets the first down. George Martin finally brings him down, but they're inside Griffin territory.
Oh, good looking run there by Vanis. Good blocking ahead of him by Rudy and Johnson and Afzali. Quigley and Kajelski gave him plenty of room, and he was able to get through, and he showed his greatness on that play. Slashing run.
So we're under 10 minutes to play in the first half of football as the clock continues to run, being that we have mostly a running game. And the Cubs are in Los Alamitos territory. And that's a handoff to Vanis. Vanis cutting left. Vanis doing some nice running, still on his feet. Over the 35-yard line, inside the 35, and more than enough for a first down.
Another good run, another good hole opened up for Vanis. This time it was a sweep, and he had plenty of room and able to get through for the first down. The Cubs here, Denny, I think are 2 for 2 on third down, and on that play, however, they did it on first down.
There's timeout on the field. Both the Los Alamitos defense going to the sidelines.
LATV Sports is brought to you by Fiorito's. Come to Fiorito's Italian Restaurant, serving great Italian food since 1964. Fiorito's, family dining at its very best. A special LATV thanks also goes out to Bar Lumber. For friendly service and great value, come to Bar Lumber.
Well, we have timeout on the field as the offensive coach in the huddle with the Cubs. Vanna so far 7 rushes for 35 yards. I'd like to take the time right now, Len, to thank all the sponsors of LATV. This will be our last broadcast of 1995, and we want to thank each and every one of supporting Los Alamitos Television and Los Alamitos High School football. It's been a great year for the Los Alamitos Griffins, and a special thank you to each and every one of our sponsors.
And the Griffins hoping that they do have one last game, but they hope it's on Channel 13, then played at the Coliseum.
First down and 10, ball on the 34-yard line. Casper again with the long count. Handing off to Stoll. Stoll is the first man through, and Stoll getting close to the 30-yard line.
Stoll the fullback. In the I formation, able to get the ball just inside the 35-yard line, Denny. I think he made only about a yard.
Second down and 9. As the clock continues to run, as we're under 9 minutes. I'm Denny Siegel, along with Len Venger and Fritz Pollard. 13-6. Los Alamitos ahead of Loyola, and Loyola driving. Casper looking to go long. Incomplete.
And I'll tell you, on both ends there was a lot of contact. Eric Goldrick was hit at the Goldrick was hit at the end of that play, and Casper was hit when he threw it. And one of those hitters, I think, was Ryan Gregnano. And we know all year long, Gregnano and Ojalete, 2 of the biggest hitters as defensive backs for the Griffins.
That is Casper's first incomplete pass of the evening, so he's 3 of 4.
And at the 34-yard line, a huge play. They're in 4-down territory, I think. They've got, though, 3rd and 10.
Casper finds Peterson, and Casper is just nailed by Ojalete. Great defensive play.
Well, Coach Grady's not going to have to make much of a decision now. Had he not made any yardage, he would have had a decision to make, but instead he had about a 5-yard or 4-yard loss there back to the 39, and he's going to have his Cubs punt the ball away, and that's going to be the first possession of this game that did not turn into a touchdown.
So back in punt formation is number 10, GM Payalo.
And I'll tell you, though, the Griffins have to be careful. They have to play defense here. The ball is, after all, only on the 39-yard line. You see Gregnano back there, but I'll tell you, they have to be careful and watch here for a fake. They cannot have an all-out rush.
Go, Cubs! Go, Cubs! Go, Cubs!
It's a kick all the way. It's a high, lazy Gregnano running forward, letting it go into the end zone for the automatic touchback. So with 8 minutes and 5 seconds left in the first half of football, Los Alamitos will have the ball first down and 10 at the 20-yard line.
LATV Sports is brought to you by Lou Webb Auto Group. Our congratulations go out to Lou Webb, whose integrity has made his auto group Orange County's newest Fortune 500 company.
Kevin Federick, 8 of 10 for 97 yards so far in this first half of football. And his number 1 receiver is touchdown Tony Hartley, 6 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown. Federick back to pass. And Federick looks like something broke down there, Len, or either that or his receivers recovered. He put the ball in and just went straight ahead.
He had plenty of time And finally, Andy Kerwin able to bring him down as he tried to run the ball right at the end. I think you can't call it a sack because he made about half a yard, but it was good defensive back work. Nobody was open, even though Federick had plenty of time.
So far in the game, Greg Nano, 7 rushes, 43 yards. And that's an end around. Stan Guinness, number 25, has the ball. Guinness, short of the first down, gets over the 25, and he is brought down by John Hilbert and Scott Walter.
Stan Guinness able to show his terrific speed out there on the end around. Went from his left to his right and made about 9 yards, about 8.5 actually. Griffin's going to have third and about 1.5 yards to go, and I think they're bringing in some of their big people here. Let's see if they go full house now. Yes, they do.
Federick still with the ball. Federick back to pass, looking for Hartley, finding Tony Hartley, and Hartley is inside Cub territory.
Oh, what a terrific call by the coaching staff of the Griffins. It was third and 1.5 yards. Good play action by Federick. He found Hartley deep for a huge gain.
What a great pass by Kevin Federick.
It was perfect.
So Los Alamitos driving based on that tremendous reception of Federick to Hartley was with 6 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first half of football. Los Alamitos first down and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Hartley, Dennis, has not only had the touchdown pass, he's had a 31-yard pass and a 43-yard pass so far in the game.
Brad Chapman drops Ryan Gregnano for a loss. I think that was Brian Luke, excuse me.
Cubs trying to stiffen here, able to cause a little bit of a loss.
So it'll be second down and 11. Tony Hartley, 7 catches for over 100 yards. He's 7 for 109. Federick back to pass, looking for Sean Stein, but the ball wasn't there as Stein could not bring it in.
That time it was not a real good pass by Kevin Federick. Threw it a little too far out ahead of Sean Stein. Stein, though, came close to getting it, probably a little disappointed that he didn't. And the Griffins, just like that after the big gain, find themselves in a 3rd and 11 at the 41 of the Cubs. Danny, this is a real big down for the Loyola defense.
Loyola doing a fine job at this juncture. Kevin Federick, plenty of time, finding Stan Guinness as he cuts over the center, but he's going to be well short of the first down. John Hilbert brought him down.
And the Griffins here with about 5 yards to go for a first down on 4th down don't look like the punting team is coming in. As of right now, it looks like they're going to go for it. Absolutely, Denny. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
So as we're at the 5.5-minute mark left in the first half of football, Los Alamitos doing a little in-your-face football. The stands are rocking and rolling.
And the Griffins use their second timeout.
Okay, so with a score 13-6, we'll be right back. Well, here we are, 4th down and 5 for Los Alamitos. Kevin Federick barking it out. It looks like they're a little bit confused out there after the timeout, which surprises me. Sean Stein is the man in motion. Federick back to pass, and it is complete to Ryan Dunbar. Boy, this young man has stood up and been counted the last 2 football games.
He really has. It's not just Hartley and Guinness. Kevin Federick is throwing to Dunbar. He's throwing to Sean Stein. And I'll tell you, when he throws to all his receivers, that makes it a doubly tough job for any defense.
And so far, Kevin Federick having a great first half, 11 of 14 for 140 yards.
Big first down conversion by the Griffins.
Federick keeping the ball and gets out of bounds just in the nick of time, but not before he picks up some very valuable yardage.
Well, a quarterback keeper, we do not see that. I think that's fairly new to the Griffin arsenal this year. Coach Barnes does not like Kevin Federick taking a lot of chances, but it was a keeper, and it was to the right side, and he was able to make 6 yards.
Second down and 4, ball on the 21. Federic handing off to Ryan Gregnano. Gregnano just slipping his way through straight ahead. Looks like he'll be short of the first down. Brought down by Robert Quigley. And this Quigley on both sides of the ball playing outstanding football for Loyola.
LATV Sports is brought to you by Green Street Interiors. Getting the best doesn't cost the most when you have the help of Green Street Interiors.
3rd down and 2. And as Len has said in the past, looks like it's fourth down football. That is Federic with a quarterback sneak, goes right up the butt of Chris Wood and goes straight ahead for the first down.
That's exactly what he did, and someone behind was pushing him, and he was able to get down there for the first down.
So I said it wrong. So what?
Well, the Griffin fans like what you said, Denny. They're giving you cheers.
As the clock continues to run at 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half, and the Griffins continue to drive, and that is a handoff to Gregnano. Gregnano finding daylight as he's sweeping to the left. Touchdown, Los Alamitos.
Another run by Gregnano, another 14-yard touchdown run. The play designed up the middle, but again, he broke out to the left of the outside. There was nobody there. And Gregnano able to get into the end zone. Denny, his 2nd touchdown tonight, his 5th touchdown in the last 2 games.
Gregnano's having a career in the last game and a half. So with 4 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first half of football, Los Alamitos puts up another score as we now attempt the extra point. Mike Phillips awaiting the ball to be put down. The kick is up. The kick is good. So that drive took 11 plays, 80 yards again, 3 minutes and 57 seconds in the score, 20-6 in favor of the Griffins.
The Griffins have not been stopped tonight. Here's the run. Look how he bounces out to the outside. Good speed by Gregnano. Look at the ball. I think it was in his left arm as he went into the end zone. Good job of disciplined running by Ryan Gregnano.
This is a very, very fine Loyola football team. And right now, you get the feeling that Los Alamitos is holding a clinic, as you can see, a 20-6 lead by the Griffins.
3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, every one of them a long drive. Everybody who is a star for the Griffins has been starring. Guinness, Hartley, Federic, Gregnano, all the names we talked about, they're playing great football.
Back deep for the Cubs, number 21, John Hilbert. Number 37, Mike Vanis. And Mike Phillips getting ready to kick off. It finally bounces into the end zone. You know, there was a doubt there that was a live football, and Vanis was waiting for it to kind of squiggle into the end zone. But, you know, Len, that ball could have bounced wrong for the Cubs, and they could have had first down at their own 1-foot line.
Well, Vanis took a little bit of a chance there, but he's a great football player, and he saw towards the end that the ball was going to go into the end zone, and he wisely let it go, and the ball out to the 20. Denny, one of the things you talked about all year, gut check time.
Mike Vanis in the backfield.
This is it for Loyola.
Absolutely. Ray Casper, the junior quarterback, he's the young man that is going to lead this team, and he's got a whole bunch resting on his shoulders. Vanis with the pitch. Vanis sweeping wide to the right. Vanis cutting in. Vanis sees some daylight. He gets all the way to the 45-yard line. Outstanding run by Mike Vanis.
Oh, he wasn't going all that fast, but he picked his spots, and he knew where the Griffins weren't. He made some very good cuts, able to make a 25-yard gain. Mike Vanis. And I'll tell you, they're behind 2 touchdowns, but they still continue to run. Here's the sweep. Stoll out in front. Oh, look at that cut back in at the end, and now he knows he's going to be hit, grabs onto the football. Good job.
Vanis has 8 rushes for 60 yards so far in this first half of football, and Vanis again. And Vanis this time is denied the 50 as he gets a gain of 3 yards.
Denny, we talked about the fact that teams like Loyola who like to run have trouble when they get behind. They're 2 touchdowns behind. It's not too far, however, for them to get out of their game plan. They can still run the ball, get it down to 1 touchdown here before the first half comes to an end.
And speaking about that first half coming to an end, we're getting real close to the 3-minute mark left in time available for this first half of football. Again, Loyola with a long count.
And a very quiet crowd, Denny.
Casper back to pass. Casper
Peterson.
finding Peterson. Peterson busts loose. Peterson gets inside the 30-yard line, brought down by Bacani, but he was tackled way up the field, it seemed like, and then he just busted loose.
Well, Bacani had him the first time, and I thought he made the tackle or at least driven him out of bounds, but he didn't. And then he kept on running, and you know what? Bacani got him again from behind. Good job by Dave Bacani on second effort, even though he missed the original tackle. But big first down for the Cubs, Denny. They're on a drive.
Ball is on the 29-yard line. Stolen Vanis still in the backfield.
Stolen Vanis in the backfield.
And that's Vanis sweeping wide to the left. Vanis gets inside the 25-yard line, and he is brought down by Mike Atamian.
Our LATV thanks also go out to Wendy and Harold Rothman, who say go Griffins and want Los Alamitos to continue their winning ways.
Clock continues to run, and there is a timeout on the field. The Cubs calling a timeout with 2:02 left in the first half of football. The Griffins going to the sidelines, and there you see the offensive unit of the Cubs and the coach coming out to address them.
I think it's a smart call by Loyola. They are inside now, I think, the 25-yard line, or yeah, about the 24-yard line. They've got a 2nd and 4. They've got a couple of minutes. They've still got a couple of timeouts left. They need to get in for the touchdown to make this a 20-13 game, and they just want to relax, take their time, make sure that that they call the right plays.
Looks like the fog has lifted a little bit, Len. And when this game first started, there was quite a haze out there. It's still not a clear night, but looks like it's kind of cleared up just a little bit. I wish they would wash these windows here in the press box. We're having some trouble seeing out of them.
Maybe we're fogging the windows up. I think you're right about the outside, though.
We have a standing room only crowd. It's a real nice crowd for the semifinal football game. Casper so far 5 of 6 for 62 yards. Vanis 10 rushes for 69 yards so far in the first half.
Now, Casper, Stolen Vanis in the backfield.
Casper still with the ball, and that is going to be a run all the way as Casper slides all the way down to, they're going to spot it around the 12-yard line.
And I think that is enough, actually about the 17-yard line, but it looks like it's enough for the first down. So they get the ball inside the 20 with a first down on the 17. The clock is running at 1:50, but they've got plenty of time, I think, to do it, Denny. They still have a couple of timeouts to go.
The Cubs run a no-nonsense offense. It looks like just hard driving football as that's Vanis. Vanis sweeping wide to the left, and boy, he is just tackled by Chris Bagley. He had a hammerlock on him and just brought him down to the turf. And as you can see, that scissor lift there, that's what Len and I have to look through to try to be able to call this football game. They're part of our obstacles.
Ball inside the 15-yard line. Vanis showing good strength there, even to make a yard or so out of that. But they got him in a hammerlock. You were right about that, Denny.
2nd down and 8. And we're at the 1-minute mark left in this first half. It's a pass. It was a pass intended for Matt Peterson, and from this viewpoint here, it looks like he hit his shoulder pads, Len.
You know, I think you're right. For a moment, I thought Hartley might have been able to touch the ball. I don't think he did. I think you're right. The ball somehow might have hit him on the shoulder pads, which means it should have been a Cub touchdown.
But the other thing that did happen, though, is that the clock is stopped with 55 seconds. And there's timeout on the field as the Griffins will go to the sideline, their defensive unit talking to the coaches.
A good job again by Coach Grady. He's called his second time out here. He wants to talk to his offense. He has a huge play, 3rd down, and about 7 yards to go from the Griffin 15-yard line. He wants to play either for a first down or into the end zone right here. Otherwise, he might have to settle for a field goal try, and he certainly would rather not do that. They're in close. He'd like to get the touchdown. 55 seconds is still plenty of time.
Well, with the excitement of football that's happening and the hard hitting that is happening on the field, our on-the-field camera was nailed. I guess maybe by, we didn't see it from up here, but obviously one of the players ran into our camera. So right now it's out of commission, so hopefully we'll be able to get to Fritz Pollard before halftime. If not, we'll catch him in the second half.
Yeah, but Denny, what happened to our cameraman? is he okay?
3rd down and 7, 55 seconds left, and that's Vanis. Vanis sweeping wide to the right. Vanis having nice running room, and he is finally pushed out of bounds by Tony Hartley.
But I think he got the first down. He knew exactly, Mike Vanis knew exactly where he had to go for the first down, and he got the first down and went out of bounds to stop the clock. And he got inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line. Oh, what a terrific run by Vanis to get out of bounds at the end of that play.
5-yard line for Loyola.
And they've got 4 downs now to get a touchdown. They've got 48 seconds. That is plenty of time.
And with the touchdown by Loyola, puts them right back in this football game. All of a sudden, we're seeing a little bit of diversion by the offense of the Cubs. Casper looking and finding a wide open receiver.
All kinds of movement, all kinds of deception on that play. And the catch was made by Matt LaBonge, who is a tight end. LaBonge, I think, waited and finally broke out to the left. He was all alone, wide open. The ball a little underthrown, but he was able to catch it for a 4-yard touchdown. And just like that, Loyola right back in this football game.
Well, now this ever-important extra point by Michael Giampialo.
Willard holding.
The kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 42 seconds left in the first half of football, the score is 20-13 in favor of Los Alamitos, but the Cubs are right back in it.
Well, Danny, we said it was gut check time. We said it was time for the Cubs to show us what kind of team they are. They're out of the Delray League. They're 10-2 with losses only to Bishop Amat and Antelope Valley. And they won 10 big football games. They're awfully good, and they just showed us what they're made of. They're tough.
You don't become a premier football program being in the playoffs 19 out of 20 years like Loyola has. I mean, this is an outstanding program. And that drive by Loyola with that gut check that we're talking about took 9 plays, 80 yards, and 2 minutes and 26 seconds. So what's interesting about that, not only do they convert and make the touchdown, they, being a ball control team, only took a little bit more than 2 minutes to do it.
Absolutely, Denny, and I'll tell you, this game's going to go all the way down right to the end. These are 2 fabulous Division I football teams.
Guinness and Ohalete back deep. Ohalete driven back into his end zone, and boy, this young man, Michael Giampialo, what a kicker he is. He's got a heck of a leg.
He really does, and no chance to run anything back against him. Ball going all the way into the end zone. Let's see if the Griffins decide to do anything with 42 seconds left. To be honest with you, if I were the Griffins, I would just try a handoff here and go in at halftime. I wouldn't try to score and take a chance on any turnover or mistake.
Well, you're right again, Len. As Porter is back to pass, going long and looking, and that is Hartley makes the reception. Or it falls incomplete. It falls incomplete, and it bounced off his chest. But Len, Loyola was in a prevent defense. There were 5 defensive backs all in that territory.
Danny, we have an injury. We have an injury. Somebody on the Griffins has been hurt here. Let's see. getting a little help out there.
And he's holding his knee, and that's Chris Wood, the center. Chris Wood, number 51, holding on to his knee, and that is surely not a good sign.
Oh, my.
Doc Johnston out there as is Coach Barnes.
Boy, you just hate to see that. It was only 42 seconds left. Griffins decided to go deep to Hartley.
And I just saw Coach Barnes put his hands through his hair and just showing a lot of distress.
Coach Barnes is out there on the field, and he's with the center. He looks like he's in some pain.
Juan Escalera, number 34. Tom Burns, 35.
Danny, you called it as Wood, did you say?
Number 51, Chris Wood. I believe that to be the young man that's down.
But he is moving that knee down, Danny. He's moving both knees. He may be in some pain, but I have a little encouragement here. And now Denny's getting up. And he's getting up, I think, under his own power.
For Los Alamitos.
Now he's going to need some help off the field, it looks like that.
They're bringing some players out to give him a hand.
That's number 51, Chris Wood. His knee. Chris Wood, 6'4", 252-pound senior, been one of the anchors of this offensive line. And you hate like the devil to see that happen. Replacing him is number 58, Tyson Davis.
Tyson Davis, 220-pound, 6'1", senior.
Gregnano going straight ahead with a handoff from Federick as the clock continues to run as we're at 25 seconds left, and Kerwin making the tackle.
That probably is going to be the last play. Well, the Griffins are going to go for one more play. Not sure why. It's 3rd and 1.
And Federick is back to pass. Federick, that is a completion to Ryan Dunbar.
Dennis, I'm not sure what's going on. Dunbar able to catch the ball and I think go out of bounds. 7 seconds left. Griffins 61 yards away from pay dirt. This is probably going to be the last play of the first half, especially if it's completed, actually. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, Federick. A little slip pass into Ryan Gregnano, and Gregnano gets inside Cub territory, but that's going to be the end of the first half of football. So Loyola coming back strong with that last score and closing the gap to only 7 points. Los Alamitos goes into halftime with a 20-13 lead, and Len, this is semifinal football. We expected no less, and we're getting just an outstanding football game.
Well, we really are, but the Griffins have to be very concerned about that injury to Chris Wood. Let's hope it's not serious, but they are able to take a 20-13 lead in at halftime. Maybe one of the big stories of this game is no turnovers by either team in the first half.
One of the things that you and I witnessed prior to the game was the discipline of Loyola and how they were going through their pre-game drills, and everybody knew their place and knew their job. And it's pretty evident that this is an outstanding program, much like the Griffins of Los Alamitos. As we're just about ready to start the halftime show, Los Alamitos is performing this halftime show, which is quite unique, Len, in as much as that it's an away game for Los Al, and the Loyola fans who are pro-Cub are, shall we say, not all that happy about Los Alamitos being here. I think it's just some vocal young people, but here we are, 20-13, Los Alamitos going into halftime, and we'll be right back.
Big round of applause now for the
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're just moments away from the kickoff of the second half of football. We got 24 minutes left of football between the Cubs of Loyola and the Griffins of Los Alamitos to see who advances to the final at the Los Angeles Coliseum December 9th. And they will be playing the winner of the Long Beach Poly Bishop Amat football game. As you can see, Vanis back deep for the Cubs. Vanis and John Hilvert. And Phillips with a high, lazy kick. Vanis gets the ball on the 9-yard line. Vanis breaks loose. Vanis breaks loose. He's being chased by Phillips, and he is finally brought down by Stan Guinness. So a great run back by Vanis and great field possession for the Cubs.
Definitely, and again, a special teams breakdown by the Griffins to begin the second half, and Vanis was able to get through all the way up to the 43-yard line.
First half stats: Casper 6 of 9 for 67 yards. Vanis 12 rushes for 81 yards, and that's against Gregnano, 11 rushes for 68 yards. So Vanis out rushing Gregnano, but Gregnano is the one that's been putting up the touchdowns. Casper still with the football. Casper throwing and complete to Harris. And Harris, just a mountain of a man, 6'4", 221 pounds, and down at the 41-yard line inside Los Alamitos territory.
Loyola taking advantage of the fact that they deferred the winning of the toss at the beginning of the football game. It seemed to backfire at that time because the Griffins took the ball and marched at 80 for a touchdown. But can they capitalize on taking the second half kickoff? And so far, so good for the Cubs.
Coach Grady, a very well-renowned high school football coach, not only in Southern California, but across the nation. And that is a handoff to Vanis. Vanis wide open. Vanis rushing inside the 10, and is finally brought down by Tony Hartley.
Mike Vanis, you know, you can hold him a little bit, although he did have over 80 yards in the first half, but he breaks here all the way down to the 4-yard line, and just like that, the Cubs are threatening to tie up the football game. Mike Vanis, just a great running back, Denny, but you also have to congratulate that offensive line for giving him the hold.
First down and goal, ball on the 4-yard line, and this has all happened in a minute and a half, starting the third quarter of football. Now the Cubs are in a full house backfield.
Casper, Williams, Stoll, Vanis in the backfield. Stoll.
Williams, no, that's Stoll. Stoll in for the touchdown. So Loyola puts up a very fast 6 with 10 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in the third quarter. What an outstanding, well-orchestrated drive. Just quick as the devil.
Well, and you talk about doing it in a little bit, about a minute and 40 seconds. The fact is, Denny, with 42 seconds left at the end of the first half, they got a touchdown. They have scored 2 touchdowns in a matter of a couple of minutes.
Loyola going for the extra point, which will tie this football game. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So we have a brand new football game with a 20-20 tie, and we talked about the gut check that Loyola had to do before their last possession in the second quarter. They did exactly that, and just like you said, Len, put up 2 scores. Now let's talk about gut check on the other side of the football. Los Alamitos they're going to have to do the same.
Absolutely right. And one of the things what we're going to check on as the Griffins begin the drive with the score tied 20-20 is whether Chris Wood gets out there at his center position. And the Griffins sure need him. And let's see what kind of shape he is in.
Kevin Federick, when the offensive unit gets into the football game, is 13 of 17 for 170 yards. Tony Hartley with 7 receptions, 109 yards, as back deep for the Griffins, number 1, Ife Ohalite, and number 25, Stan Guinness.
Number 29, Mike McGillivray, will be doing the kicking off. He's kicked it into the end zone absolutely every time tonight. And let's see how he does on this kick and whether it again goes into the end zone.
That's McKinnon in there on the kickoff team. Mike Wood.
So the special teams of Los Alamitos awaiting this ensuing kick. It is a high end over end. Iholite again lets it go into the end zone, so it'll be first down and 10 for Los Alamitos on the 20-yard line.
What a leg McGillivray has, and it's got to help him all year long. I'm sure teams have done nothing more than start their drives in poor field position on their own 20-yard line. And that's what the Griffins have to do right now. And Denny, who's at center? Can you see? It is Chris Wood. He's okay. Glad and relieved for Griffin fans to see that.
Better attack. Wide open is Stan Guinness. Stan Guinness gets to the 50-yard line. Oh, inside the 50, they're in Loyola territory, and Joe Vivo made the tackle.
32-yard pass to Stan Guinness. He was wide open. Another perfect pass from Federick. He had great protection. We talked about that as one of the keys. It has worked so far.
In at center, Ricky McDonald, number 54 for Los Alamitos. And that's Stan Guinness with the end around. Guinness trying to move himself, trying to avert that tackler. He's brought down on the 45-yard line by John Williams.
John Williams came up there.
But he was able to make 3 or 4 yards on the play. Griffins have the ball inside the 45-yard line of the Cubs, and they seem to be coming right back. We've got 40 points here, and we're still fairly early in the third quarter.
So we're seeing actually an offensive show because the defense really hasn't shown up all that much. Kevin Federick so far in the game is over 200 yards in passing. Federick back to pass. Federick having plenty of time and looking for Hartley.
Let's see if we see a penalty marker.
They are saying a completion.
He caught it.
I cannot believe that reception by Tony Hartley.
Denny, he was on the ground. He caught the ball while being on the ground. I don't believe it.
It looked like Tony Hartley was boxed out. He had to kind of slither around the defender, and like you said, Lynn, I thought he was also on the ground, but he made the reception.
That went for about 45 yards. Hartley's got a pass for 31. He's got a pass for 43. He's got a pass for 45. I don't believe how much yardage he's made, and I don't believe that he caught that ball.
First down and goal. The ball is on the 4-yard line. There's Ryan Grignano, and Grignano, again, with a 3-touchdown football game, puts it in for the score.
Was that another 4-yarder, Denny, or is that 3? It's 3 touchdowns in the game, 6 touchdowns in his last 2 games. And I think that's a 3-yard run for Ryan Grignano. We don't have time to warm up here, Denny, in the third quarter. It's already 26-20. Phillips going to try to make it 27-20. Big kick. Let's see what he does.
The kick is up, and it is good. So with 8 minutes and 47 seconds left in the third quarter, Los Alamitos answers a touchdown by Loyola and goes out ahead 27-20.
Denny, it's like a tennis match. Your head just goes left and right because that's how fast that these teams are moving down the field. LA TV Game of the Week is brought to you by Orange County Container. Orange County Container offers a full line of paper products and customized point-of-purchase displays. Call Orange County Container today. LA TV Game of the Week is also brought to you by Joe Partisse Insurance. Make the most of what you have with the help of Joe Partisse.
That drive took 4 plays by Los Alamitos. 80 yards. And they just threw ball control to the win. 1 minute and 29 seconds. Kevin Federick, 15 of 19 for 247 yards. As you see, Vanis back deep for the kickoff, along with number 21, John Hilbert.
And Vanis there was Denny was wringing his hands. You know what that means? He wants the ball. He wants to move right back downfield again and get another score.
An onside kick. Los Alamitos trying to get possession.
And it failed, Denny. Mike Woods, one of the up men, one of the linemen, able to show good hands, hold on to the football. The ball, I believe, did not even go 10 yards. And the Griffins have failed in their special teams again. They have given a gift of field position to the Cubs.
Loyola first down and 10, ball on the 47-yard line of the Griffins. A big break going the way for Loyola. Vanis with the ball. Vanis breaking loose. Vanis making a first down and gets down inside the 30-yard line, and it looks like that onside kick handed the Cubs a gift.
It really did. It totally backfired. One play later, Vanis, another great run, gets the ball all the way down to the Griffin 30-yard line. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Len is into the game, folks.
Is that the understatement of the year?
Vanis has 143 yards so far, and it seems like whoever has the ball last will probably become the victor.
Vanis had 195 yards last game, Denny, and he's catching up quick in this game.
That is Stoll going over the left side, and Stoll driving straight ahead for a short game.
You know what that run was? That run by Stoll was a chance to give everybody a chance to breathe before they give the ball to Vanis again.
And the clock continues to run as we're under 8 minutes left to play, and this third quarter so far has been nothing but fireworks in regards to offensive football, and we're waiting for the defenses to show up. Second down and 5. And that's Vanis over the right side, and Vanis is just kind of swiveled down as he's over the 25-yard line, or inside the 25, and Rashawn Davis puts the tackle on him.
Mike Kahn down there. And Cooper.
It's funny. I thought we all called somebody different. I thought it was Brent Cooper. I heard the public address announcer say Mike Kahn.
So it was 90-somebody.
90-something brought him down. Third down, Denny. Big play. 3rd and 3, but it is 4-down territory.
Casper again with a long count. And that's a handoff to Vanis. Vanis turning the corner. Vanis has the first down and more as he gets over the inside the 15-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot it around the 17.
Vanis hit pretty hard there. He's a little shaken up. Got his helmet off, and he got his bell rung just a little bit there, but look at it, just like that. Trots into the huddle, puts the helmet back on, he's ready to go.
He's not an oversized guy. He's 5'10", 182-pound senior, but he shows a lot of moves, a lot of quickness. So first down for the Cubs. Ball is on the 14-yard line.
Casper, the quarterback. Stoll and Vanis in the backfield.
And Casper handing off to Stoll. Stoll going over the left side inside the 10-yard line and down close to the 5, and the Loyola Cubs just driving after getting that gift, getting the ball inside Los Alamitos territory on that failed onside kick.
And they're absolutely not wasting any time on this drive, and it's Stoll running and it's Vanis running, doing an awfully good job. And they're threatening again, and they may just get their 3rd touchdown in about a 6 or 7 minute time period.
Second down. And that's Vanis. Vanis flashing down to real close to the goal line. They're probably going to spot it on the 1. So it'll be 3rd down and goal for the Cubs.
A lot of extra people now coming in for Loyola to add some blocking, and last time in this situation they went full house, sent 2 backs into the line, allowing for the blocking for Vanis, and he went easily in for the touchdown in this situation last time. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see the same play again. Last time it went over right guard. Let's see what they do this time. Same formation, Denny.
First down and goal.
Going to go to the right.
And that's Vanis flashing over to the right, and that's a touchdown for Loyola. And this game is turning out to be one barn burner as we now wait for the extra point to tie it up.
What a unbelievable offensive show by both teams. Loyola an extra point away from tying this game at 27. And I'll tell you, everybody in the stands knew exactly where Mike Vanis was going to go. They knew where the play was going to go, and there's just no stopping this team.
Jim Payalo with the extra point, and it is good. So, with 5 minutes and 4 seconds left in the third quarter, we're knotted up at 27. Vanis 18 rushes for 164 yards, and this young man is putting on a clinic.
Well, I'll tell you, he went nearly 200 last week, and he's actually on a pace to exceed that on this play, on this game, that is. Here's the touchdown play. Handoff, and Vanis just goes in easily through the Griffins. Lots of blockers out in front, and they get the score to tie the game at 27. Dennis, there have been no turnovers in the football game, and we talked early about the early penalties, 2 against each team in the first quarter at the beginning of the second. There hasn't been another penalty since that time.
That last drive by Loyola, 7 plays, 47 yards, 3 minutes and 41 seconds. And this is a inspired Loyola team as they put up 2 scores with the 2 possessions. Los Alamitos now getting their second possession, and let's see if they can answer in kind.
And let's see if McGillivray falls down, because if he doesn't, the ball's going to go into the end zone again. There it goes.
And there it goes is right. This young man just consistently puts it in the end zone, just neutralizes anything that would Los Alamitos would hope for a run back. So it'll be first down and 10 on the 20.
LATV Game of the Week is brought to you by Fiorito's. Come to Fiorito's Italian restaurant, serving a wonderful menu of homemade Italian favorites. Fiorito's, family dining at its very best.
So far in this game, Greg Nano, 12 rushes, 72 yards, 3 touchdowns. Federick, 15 of 19 for 247 yards. And Hartley, 3 receptions. Dunbar, 8 receptions, and Dunbar with 3. Federick back to pass, looking for Sean Stein, and the ball is overthrown. So it'll be second down and 10.
Double coverage there on Sean Stein. And again, Federick put it in a place where either Stein is going to get it or it's going to go out of bounds, but no chance for an interception.
Looking out into the crowd here, many of the loyal fans of Loyola standing, rooting on their defense, and obviously looking across the field to the contingent that are rooting for Los Alamitos. Says Federick back to pass. Federick finding Guinness, and Guinness runs out of bounds on the 43-yard line. So it'll be first down and 10 for Los Alamitos.
23-yard gain on that play. Again, a perfect pass by Kevin Federick. He's had plenty of time tonight. Great job by his offensive line, and his throws have been perfect.
You give this young man the time, and he's going to put the ball right where it's got to be. And the offensive line really has stood up and been counted, because Federick has had more than ample time tonight. 5 minutes left to play, 27-27. Federick back to pass. Federick looking and finding Tony Hartley. And Tony Hartley is upended right away on the 49-yard line of Loyola. Making the tackle is Ryan Capalbo.
Well, Capalbo made quite a tackle, as a matter of fact, on Tony Hartley. And Tony Hartley there looks okay. He's looking over at that fellow, and he's saying, wow, you hit me. You hit me hard.
Second down and 4 after a gain of 6 yards on that pass. There's a fumble on the play, and it's Loyola picks it up. There was a missed snap between the center and Kevin Federick. And Matt Stoll, number 33 of Loyola, picks up the ball. And Len, you talked about turnovers. This is the first turnover of the game, and this hot, and I mean red hot Loyola team, as you can see them jumping on the sideline, given another opportunity at midfield.
Yes, they are jumping on the sidelines. They're real happy. They have great field position inside Griffin territory. And let's see now if the Griffins can stop Mike Vanis and the Cubs.
And that's a handoff to Vanis. Vanis breaks one tackle, but is hit by the second man number 60, John Allen, hit him first, and Brent Cooper brought him down. So after a gain of, let's call it 1, it'll be second down and 9.
Griffin defense now really trying to stiffen the offense of the Cubs, bringing into play here, talking about what they're going to do. And I'll tell you, it isn't too hard to figure out all game long. It's Banas left, Banas right.
Casper again with this long count. It's a pitch to Vanis. Vanis right. This time Vanis cutting in and being chased by Rashawn Davis. And Davis is not going to catch him, but he is brought down inside the 30-yard line, down to the 27, and another first down by Loyola. And here come the Cubs.
Vanis absolutely unstoppable as he gets right near 190 yards now, and we are still in the third quarter with about 3 minutes left by time they get this next play off, and the Griffin defense cannot stop Mike Vanis, cannot stop the offensive line. 186 yards on 20 carries for Vanis, thanks to Rich Moody, our statistician.
And that's a handoff to Stoll. Stoll over the left side, and Stoll just pile drives his way close to the 20-yard line, brought down by Mike Martinez. And they're going to spot the ball on the 22.
This is the first time all year I have seen the Griffin defense overpowered by an offensive line and by one back. Even in the loss against Esperanza, Esperanza had a balanced attack, passing and running. But this is a team that says we're going to run, stop us. The Griffins have not been able to stop them.
Second down and 5. And that's Vanis again. And Vanis with a big hole. And Vanis inside the 10-yard line. And Vanis might be very good, Len. And Vanis might be very shifty. But those holes are huge by the offensive line.
Absolutely right. The offensive line is opening up gaping holes for him to get through. And I'll tell you, had he not fallen down there, he might have been able to make a good cut and get away from Hartley and get into the end zone. But he fell down, and they've got first and goal from the 10.
Casper in a very businesslike way, taking this team all the way down the field. And that's Casper on a keeper, and Casper showing a lot of hand fakes there. Goes around the left and gets inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Good play call.
Really is, and Coach Grady sees that his running attack is working well. He's not even thinking about a pass. As a matter of fact, he's just run, 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 stop us if you can. And boy, it's not happening. And he's got no reason to go to the air, although I'll tell you at this point, play action would really, really be effective at this point.
Clock continues to run down as we're at 1:10 left in the third quarter. And that's Vanis. Vanis this time is denied as he is just stacked up for a loss.
It's interesting, Denny. That would have been a good time for play action to fake it to Vanis, maybe try to go into the end zone. They have gotten one touchdown pass tonight where a man was wide open, but they gave it to Vanis instead, and actually I believe he lost a yard on the play, and it's going to be third and goal from the 5 as we near now the end of the third quarter. This is a huge play in the game. If they don't get the touchdown, they may choose the field goal. Let's see what happens.
Casper looking around, and that's Vanis this time, and Vanis inside and in for the touchdown. A well-designed play. We've seen it many times before. Great lead blocking, and Loyola puts up a 6 and takes the lead with 20 seconds left in the third quarter.
Vanis around end, student body right, went in the 5 yards, able to get around everybody and then plow into the end zone for the touchdown. And Loyola Cubs are taking the lead in this football game. It's either 33-27 or 34-27, depending on what happens with this extra point. And the turnover by the Griffins has come back to haunt them.
The kick is up, and the kick is good. So 34-27. That drive after the fumble, 7 plays for 51 yards. It took 4 minutes and 5 seconds. So Los Alamitos on 2 consecutive times handed the ball to Loyola at midfield, one on the onside kick that failed, and the other the fumble. And it's Vanis with 3 touchdowns, and he has 23 carries for 240 yards and 204 yards, excuse me. And Vanis is just showing just beautifully, but it's doing a stellar job.
Absolutely right, and you accidentally said 240 yards. You may be anticipating the fourth quarter, because I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that happen. Vanis with 3 touchdowns tonight, Gragnano with 3 touchdowns tonight, and Loyola with over 250 yards rushing in the first 3 quarters of this game. And I'll tell you, we have one heck of a football game, and the Griffins have a couple people back, but I don't know why.
That's right. Looking for the kick that will probably go into the end zone, but that surely is the time not for the special teams to relax, even though it has happened all the previous time. And as I said it, that's exactly what happened. Griffin muffed the ball as it is picked up by Stan Guinness. Stan Guinness turning the corner over the 20. Stan Guinness finding has one man to beat. He's still alive. Stan Guinness, I don't know how he was able to stand up after bouncing off of all those tacklers, but he got inside Loyola territory. Ball will be first down and 10 on the 46.
And the first time this game that Mike McGillivray did not get the ball into the end zone, it went to one of the up men, Stan Guinness, who moved the ball all the way all the way to the 47-yard line of Loyola Cubs. And the Griffins fighting back here at the end of the third quarter with only 8 seconds to go.
Talking about gut check, I was just told that Chris Wood is back. And hopefully he saw the need to get back in as much as the last time the Los Alamitos had the ball. There was that missed exchange, and there is a flag on the play. It looks like that Los Alamitos might have taken just too much time.
They did. It's only their 3rd penalty in the game. It'll be a little 5-yard delay, but frankly, that is, while something you don't like to see, something that the Griffins should be able to overcome.
No, it was motion against Los Alamitos, and even though it's 5 yards, you don't want to break the momentum that Los Alamitos was just able to gain as a result of the great run back by Stan Guinness. And you don't want to give Loyola that much more strength, because they are playing outstanding football in the third quarter of this football game.
Well, they've scored on every possession since late in the second quarter.
That's a pitch to Gragnano. Gragnano breaks one tackle, but just gets to the line of scrimmage. He's brought down by Scott Walter, and that is the end of the third quarter of football. Los Alamitos behind the Loyola Cubs, 34-27, as the third quarter was all Loyola.
It really was. Loyola was down 20-13, actually 20-6. They've got a touchdown at the end of the first half, and then 3 big scores in the third quarter to take the lead.
Let's go to Fritz Pollard.
Thanks, Denny and Len. Well, down here, the energy level is high, and I haven't seen a physical game like this since last year's Mater Dei game when Los Al faced them at the Big A in Anaheim. Clearly, the keys to victory are the defensive team that can step up and stop these powerful and potent offenses. Also, the team that's going to walk out of here with a victory may be the team that doesn't turn the ball over like Los Al just did. Strap yourselves in. The fourth quarter is coming up, and it's going to be a wild ride. Back up to you in the booth.
Thank you, Fritz. And that wild ride is just starting right now as Kevin Frederick completes a pass.
And like Fritz said, Denny, I'm fastening my seatbelt because just like that, the Griffins are down fairly deep already, down to about the 32-yard line in Loyola territory. There has been one punt in the game. Loyola had the punt. The Griffins also did not score because of a turnover. Other than that, these offenses have been moving.
Tony Hartley made the last reception, so it'll be first down for Los Al. 11 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in this football game. Frederick back to pass. Frederick looking long, and Frederick fighting, and
it's a touchdown.
A touchdown for Tony Hartley. Touchdown, Tony Hartley. Oh, my. And that was a 31-yard strike from Kevin Frederick to Hartley.
Dennis, the stars have come out in this game, and they have decided to shine. Vanis, 3 touchdowns. Gregnano, 3 touchdowns. Tony Hartley has caught passes tonight of 31, 45, 31, 43. Unbelievable.
And as Chris Pollard said, hold on, we're in for a wild ride. It was a 38-second drive, 3 plays, 49 yards, and we're now awaiting Mike Phillips with the ever-important extra point. And it is good, so Los Alamitos has tied the Cubs of Loyola, and Len, it's 34-34, and my oh my.
Oh, what a ball game. What a great Division I semifinal. 68 points on the board in 3 quarters plus 30 seconds. And I'll tell you, there is barely time to breathe. But let's take a slight moment to thank our sponsors. A special LATV thanks goes out to Bar Lumber. For all your hardware and home repair needs, come to Bar Lumber.
Federic, 19 of 23. Can you believe that? He's 19 of 23 for 325 yards so far in this football game. Tony Hartley, 10 receptions, 202 yards. Incredible. Incredible. Rich Moody bringing us the stats. Louis Guzman doing the spotting. I'm Len Venger. I'm Denny Siegel. No, I'm Denny Siegel. You're Len Venger. That's right. I got it straight. I didn't have my wallet out, folks. I didn't know who I was.
You're not excited at all. I'm the one with the beard.
Yeah. Fritz Pollard is on the field, and we're just waiting for the Los Alamitos Griffins to kick off to Loyola, and that's a squib kick, taking a great bounce up in the hands of Vanis, and Vanis is brought down by Ryan Gregnano, so the Cubs will take over, and they're going to put the ball inside the 30-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for Loyola. It'll be first down and 10 on the 28.
Casper coming into the ball game here, and I guess he's going to hand the ball to Vanis. The Griffin's standing there saying, you know what? Let's stop Mike Vanis. Let's see if they can do it. Both lines set here. Let's watch some of these collisions.
That's exactly what we saw as the offensive line moves the Griffin defensive line back a little bit, where Vanis picks up just a few yards. So it'll be second down and 8 for Loyola.
LATV Game of the Week is brought to you by Lou Webb Auto Group. Get more for your money from the Lou Webb Auto Group, Buick Mart, Lexus, and Toyota of Cerritos.
Clock continues to run as we have 10.5 minutes left in this football game. Casper still with the ball. Casper passing and going long. It is knocked down by, there's a flag on the play. There's a flag on the play. It looked like Hartley knocked the ball down, but we'll find out who the penalty is against.
Let's check the call. Ball was knocked down, almost intercepted. I couldn't tell who that call was against. Referee gets the call.
Loyola players are pointing towards Los Alamitos, so it's going to be
pass interference against Los Al. That'll be 15 yards. That is now the 4th penalty in the game against the Griffins, and it's a big one, and gives Loyola a first down out at the 45-yard line.
As you see the Loyola faithful looking on as they move the ball up to the 45 with 10 minutes and 13 seconds left in this football game.
The only good news about these penalties is we get a breather. This is exciting football.
Surprise, surprise, that's Vanis. Vanis changing direction, and Vanis is upended by Mike Martinez.
Actually, he almost tripped over his own man, John Kajelski. In fact, may well have tripped over Kajelski and held to 1 or 2 yards. You know, I was just thinking, if I was a scout now from Bishop Ahmad or from Long Beach Poly, and I'm watching this game, they don't have a clue who they're going to be playing, the winner of that game, who they're going to be playing next Saturday night, a week from tonight at the Coliseum.
2nd down and 8 after a short 2-yard gain by Vanis. Casper still with the ball. Casper tries to run, and he is brought down by Martinez. So it'll be 3rd down and long for Loyola.
Loyola, one of the big 3rd down plays, one of the few they've had in the game here, and they need to get about 6 yards in order to get the 1st down. Otherwise, they're going to have to give up the football, which, boy, I'll tell you, in this game, neither team wants to do and only does grudgingly.
Vanna, so far in this game, he has rushed for 208 yards. And on the other side of the ball, Hartley has received 202 yards. So these young men have neutralized each other, and that's indicative of the score being 34-34. And the officials have waved this play off. And it's timeout for being called by Loyola. So with a score 34-34, we'll be right back. Okay, we are at 3rd down and 6. And that's a handoff to Vanis. Vanis again swinging to the right, and Vanis looks like he has more than enough for the 1st down as the Loyola team keeps coming at you.
Oh, big 3rd down conversion by the Cubs to get that 1st down inside the 45-yard line of the Griffins. Actually, inside the 40-yard line.
And Vanis being the true workhorse, 26 carries, 220 yards, and as looks like as well as Loyola goes, that's how Vanis goes, or vice versa. And that's Vanis again, and this time Vanis is just stacked up right near the line of scrimmage.
With Mike Vanis, you know, once in a while he'll get 1 yard, get 2 yards, but you can't keep him down. And all of a sudden he'll break one for 6, 8, 10, or even longer. And he's pretty much headed for the 240 yards that you talked about a few minutes ago.
That slip of the tongue is it looks like it's gonna wind up being a truism.
222 yards for Vanis so far.
And that's Vanis again to the wide to the right, and Vanis doing a great job. But boy, I'll tell you, he is led by anybody on that team on the offensive line, and not to mention number 33, Matt Stoll, and they are doing outstanding jobs of blocking the Griffins.
They really are, and the Griffin defensive line and linebackers haven't had a team all year really do this to them like the Cubs are tonight, and they're already down now to the 30-yard line, and another big 3rd down play, but they're in 4-down territory now. They actually have 2 plays to pick up this 1st down as we are down to 7:22 and counting left in the football game.
And surprise, surprise, it's Vanis, and Vanis this time is a flag on the play, and Vanis is denied the 1st down, but we got to find out what this infraction's about. We believe it might be a hold against Loyola, but we have to wait and see the call. The Griffins are pointing towards Loyola.
We're waiting for the call. Let's get it officially. Let's see what the referee does. I think we see it's going to be against the Cubs. It's a clip against the Cubs. Now, I believe that's a 15-yard penalty and not a 10-yard penalty. Clipping is 15. Let's see if it's 15. There's 7, 12, 15 yards.
How do you do 7, 12, and 15?
I was watching him run.
I mean, usually it's 5, 10, 15. I mean, 7, 12. I'm honest to God, I don't understand. Lawyers are strange.
Well, we're lawyers because we can't be accountants. That's for sure.
3rd down and 17.
That was a big blow to the Cubs, Danny. They're not a passing team. They've got a long way to go. They might have to punt if they don't convert here, or at least get about 10.
It's for both the offense and the defense with Casper. Back to pass. Casper, plenty of time. Casper keeps the ball, and Casper runs. He is going to be denied the first down as he gets close to the 35. So Loyola will be in a situation where it'll be 4th down, and I'm seeing Michael Giampiolo getting ready to come into the game, and he is the place kicker.
No, Danny. I think they got the punt team in. There's no way he's going to kick a 50-yarder here. I don't think they take a chance because they lose field position. Let's see. You know what?
It's going to be a punt. It is going to be a punt. So Ryan Gregnano standing on his own 10-yard line, and the kicker for Loyola just in his inside the 50. It's a fake.
It is the fake. They had to be ready. It's going to work. It's going to work.
And that is Hilbert. That is Hilbert. John Hilbert winds up taking the snap, going wide to the left, and they converted the first down.
35 of the Griffins. It was on the 35. Oh, Loyola's so happy here, but the Griffins should have known. They should have known.
Isn't it interesting, Len, how breaks go? Los Alamitos tried an onside kick and failed. Now Loyola trying the fake punt and succeeds.
And again, special teams breakdown by the Griffins. This was a special team play. The defense should have been more ready. A huge play in the game.
And there's Vanis. Vanis this time, George Martin brings him down at the 20-yard line. Also Mike Atamius.
A special LATV thanks goes out to Judy Claveau and everyone at Green Street Interiors.
5 minutes left in this football game, and the forever faithful of Los Alamitos starting to bite their nails a little bit, because if in fact the Loyola were to come in and put the score up, the clock becomes also a nemesis.
Absolutely right. If the Griffins give up a field goal, they might only have one possession left in the 1995 season.
And that's a pitch to Vanis, and boy, what a great play by Dave Bacani.
Oh, Bacani, a great play. He saw the option play coming. He saw the pitch. He penetrated, and he brought the running back down just inside, Denny, the 25-yard line. So it was a loss on the play, and it's going to be 3rd and 13.
Even though that play did not succeed, Len, you got to be impressed with the playbook of Loyola. They have an awful lot of different plays that they call upon. It's the first time we saw that, and the crowds are on their feet on this side, on the other side of the field. 3rd down and 13. And that's Stoll. And Stoll drives straight on through. Mike Martinez brings him down, but now we're at a 4th down situation.
And it's going to be a field goal attempt, no doubt about it. The Loyola Cubs with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, and the clock running are going to try and take the lead. And who's out there to kick it?
That's number 10, Michael Giampiolo. It's a 35-yard field goal attempt.
No fake here. He's going to kick.
The kick is up. It is high enough to go 50 yards, and it is good. So with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in this football game, Loyola just coming on strong the second half of football, putting up a big 3, and it's 37-34 in favor of Loyola.
And that was set up by the fake punt in order to get them the big first down that allowed them to get down for the 35-yard field goal to take the 37-34 lead. We've had 71 points scored in the game, 3:10 left, gut check time for the Los Alamitos Griffins.
This is going to be the last broadcast for LATV this year for 1995, win or lose for the Griffins. And I want to take the time to make some special thank yous to the people who put on these broadcasts. The executive producer, Dan Smith, the producer, David Smith, director, Paul DeMore, floor director, Michael Simon, slow-mo, Michael Kim, graphics, Ray Sun, camera, Steve Howell, Rob Jacks, Christine Chan, Eric Schofield, even though he's not here tonight, has also manned the camera, not to mention the mic. Assistant camera, Louise Chan, Erica Olve, and Robin Burgess. And production assistant, Guadamanzan. So what a great crew, and thank you so much for putting on a great show every single week. And that's Ojalite on the goal line. Ojalite tripped up, still on his feet, and only gets up to the 17-yard line as the special teams of Loyola holding tough, as there's only 3 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in this football game. And as Chris Pollard so aptly put, welcome to the wild ride.
And fasten your seatbelt. One big drive for the Griffins left to go. They need to go all the way. They need to get a touchdown to win, a field goal to tie to probably put this in overtime. They've got about 83 to go. Can they do it?
And it looks like the defense of Loyola playing a little bit soft right now, expecting nothing but Kevin Federick going up. And that is Stan Guinness going across the middle, and Stan Guinness getting out of bounds. Great play calling and great reception by Guinness.
And again, Guinness wide open. Again, a perfect throw by Kevin Federick, and Guinness and Hartley and Dunbar have been nothing but sensational tonight. And great work by the offensive line to give the protection to Kevin Federick.
A 22-yard reception by Stan Guinness. We've already had 71 points scored in this football game, and it's amazing that it could happen. More can happen. And there is a pass intended for Hartley, and Hartley just plain dropped it.
Dennis, I said at the beginning of the show that there were 3 keys tonight for the Griffins. 1, they had to stop Bannis. They didn't do that. 2, they needed good special teams work. They didn't have it. 3, they needed to give protection to Kevin Federick so he could throw. That one they have accomplished, and that's the reason there have been so many points in this football game. And can the Griffins get a little more?
And that's a little look into Stan Guinness. And Stan Guinness tackle on the 48-yard line.
And it's 3rd and about 3 to go. The Griffins definitely, of course, have 2 downs to make this 3 yards. They're not huddling. They're going to keep moving. The clock running at about 2:10. It's going to be 2 minutes left by time. This play's over.
And that's a handoff to Greg Nano, and Greg Nano is tackled short of the 50-yard line, not to mention short of the first down brought down by Steve Preaching. So it is 4th down, 2 minutes left to go. Looks like there's going to be timeout on the field. And my Len, this is 4th down and 1, and this is the season for Los Alamitos if, in fact, they do not convert.
Absolutely right. The Griffins have called timeout. They've got 4th and 1. They're going to talk about it. The crowd on the Loyola side going absolutely crazy.
And on the flip side, as I look across at the Los Alamitos fans, they're standing there, and they seem pretty quiet. They're actually having fun. So far, Federick 21 of 26 for 356 yards. That's a whole bunch of yardage, but it means nothing if you don't put up a W.
But Denny, 21 of 26 for 356. Hartley and Guinness, 17 receptions between them for over 300 yards. It's absolutely a great offensive attack, but you're right. And in fact, it comes down to nothing more than one play. They got to cross the 50, and they got to get the first down, and the coaches of Loyola going crazy, the fans going crazy. Denny, the biggest play coming of the 1995 season for both teams right here.
There's nothing else you can say. Los Alamitos breaks the huddle. Los Alamitos in their full house. What happened? Now, the first man who jumped was Loyola. However, he might have gotten back. I believe the left side of Los Alamitos did cross that plane, so we'll find out who the penalty is against.
They're talking about it.
And
it's against the Griffins.
It's against Los Al. So Los Al will be penalized 5 yards. It'll now be 4th down and 6, and making the job that much more difficult.
Well, that much more difficult. Of course, they had full house backfield. They're bringing everybody back out now, and they're coming in with the passing attack. Who will it be? Will it be Guinness? Will it be Dunbar? Will it be Stein? Will it be Hartley? We know one thing. It will be a pass.
Federick back to pass. Federick getting nice protection. Oh! Federick is...
Is there a penalty?
There's no penalty. That pass was intended for Hartley. Hartley, from my vantage point, and I know it sounds like I'm a fan. However, I thought the defender was all over Hartley.
I agree with you. It looked like pass interference to me, but it wasn't called. And the Griffins going off the field. Loyola going crazy. They're going crazy on the sidelines. Will the Griffins, for the second year in a row, lose in the Division I semis? They've got 2 timeouts, Denny. They can stop the clock twice.
With 1 minute and 55 left, the score 37-34 in favor of Loyola. Ball is on the 44-yard line of the Griffins, and you can bet it's going to be Vanis who gets the football. And Vanis has the ball. Vanis gets all the way down to the 40.
And the Griffins call the timeout.
There's a timeout with 1 minute and 48 seconds, but not before Vanis gains almost 5 yards.
And that is way too many. The Griffins have got to stop him, because if Loyola gets a first down, they'll simply take a knee, and the game will be over. The Loyola offensive line did such a great job tonight. The Griffins now talking to Coach Barnes. He's telling them, you've got to stop Vanis. You can't let him gain 3-4 yards. You got to stop him cold, and then you got to call another timeout. Then you talked about, on the joke, we talked about Vanis getting 240 yards. He's at 234. If he gets 240, which means a first down, this game will be over. But the Griffins aren't dead yet. They've got a chance to get the ball one more time.
The Los Alamitos defense getting back on the field, and you saw just previously the offense of Loyola.
LATV Game of the Week, and what a game of the week, is brought to you by Los Alamitos Fish Company. Come enjoy the warm setting and fresh seafood at the Los Alamitos Fish Company.
Second down, 5 yards to go. 1 minute 48 left in this football game. Loyola having this game in hand. Vanis cuts through. Vanis for the first down, and Vanis makes it, as far as I'm concerned, you can put
Dennis,
the frosting on the
it's
cake.
over. It is over. The Los Alamitos Griffins will lose to Loyola. They will lose 37-34. Oh my. The Griffins have called their last timeout with 1 minute 42. But this team will not make a mistake. They will take a knee for the second year in a row. The Los Alamitos Griffins, Denny, don't look like they'll get to the Division I final.
A special congratulations to Coach Grady and the Loyola Cubs. As we had mentioned in the pregame, Loyola has been in the playoffs 19 out of the last 20 years. An incredible program. Successful year after year, and you have to be very much in awe of what they were able to put on the field tonight. Los Alamitos surely favored in this football game to go on to the Coliseum, but that pleasure looks like is going to be handed to Loyola, as they've just put up a tremendous effort tonight.
They really did, Denny. They just could not be stopped. Mike Vanis is everything that we have heard about. And again, the Griffins have had a great season. But it looks like, once again, they will probably come up short, absent an absolute miracle.
And that's Vanis again cradling the football. And Vanis dives over the 30 to around the 26-yard line. And the clock now continues to run.
That's right, Denny, and I'll tell you, one turnover in the game. It was by the Griffins. It was on the poor snap between center and quarterback, or poor coordination. I don't know whose fault it was. That was the only turnover of the game. It will kill the Griffins. There was also a big fake punt that worked for Loyola, and there was, of course, the Griffins attempted an onside kick that did not work. Every one of those turned out to be a big play.
And I think what was so impressive for Loyola, at the end of the first half, they had a do-or-die drive, and they wound up taking a 20-6 game and putting up a score, making it 20-13, and putting them right back into the football game. And then they come right back in the third quarter, taking the kickoff and coming right down the field, showing great play calling and great execution putting up another 7 and tying the football game. And all of a sudden, the domination of Los Al in the first half was totally erased.
Absolutely. It was a great third quarter for Loyola, and they scored 3 touchdowns in the third quarter to Loyola's 1, and that, of course, is another one of the keys to this football game. Clock down to 34 seconds, and Loyola will play the winner of Long Beach Poly against Bishop Amat. And wouldn't it be something, Denny, if Bishop Amat wins, because that would mean the Del Rey League would put their 1-2 teams in their league into the Division I final. That would be amazing.
Well, Vanis has also been amazing tonight so far.
You're right.
35 rushes for 244 yards. We have 34 seconds left in this football game, and this crowd here at Glendale High School, the fans of Loyola, just ecstatic about what their team did. They pulled off the upset to get into the final. And you have to sit back and recognize the fact that Los Alamitos was #1 in the nation up until a couple of weeks ago. And all of a sudden, Los Alamitos now are going to get their second loss.
Exactly right. The Griffins fell only 18 yards short of being undefeated in this game on that loss to Esperanza. Loyola will have beaten Fontana, which was 11-0, and the Griffins, who were 11-1, in order for them to make the final. And in the final, they'll have to play Amat or Poly at 12-0 or 10-1. And Denny, here it goes. The clock going down. The game is over. They won't run a play.
Well, the sidelines, as you can see, a jubilant group of young men on the Loyola side as the clock continues to wind down to no time left. And the final score, Loyola 37. The Griffins of Los Alamitos 34. It is a stunner. It is a surprise. And Los Alamitos, without question, having a great season, but they just couldn't get to the final dance. We'll be right back.
Victorious Coach Grady. Coach, you told me earlier in the week that you didn't match up well against La Salle, but for that matter, you didn't against Fontana, the second upset in a row.
What can I say? These guys are surprising me. We're playing such good offensive run football. Michael Vanis and the blockers have been doing an excellent job. You know, we answered their challenges. It seemed like we could have given up. It looked like they were playing catch with those 2 wide receivers. I can't say enough for this team. I mean, you know, we've overcome a couple of odds these last 2 weeks to be in the championship game, and we love it.
That offensive line play tonight, and Michael Vanis was definitely the key to your victory?
Very much so. Our offensive line played a heck of a game. They've done it the last 2 weeks. We're running the ball well. Mike is reading holes well. Matt Stoll, his fullback, is going 2 ways, and he's making key blocks. Ray Casper is audibleizing well. I mean, we're playing good football right now, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
Next week, you have a choice of Bishop Amat or Long Beach Poly. Which one would you rather have?
Hey, I'm not going to worry about that till Sunday morning. I mean, I'll tell you what, I don't care. We're there. We'll play either one of them. It's great.
Congratulations, Coach. Good victory.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Fritz, and thank you, Coach Grady. An outstanding performance by the Cubs, needless to say, and a great coaching job by Coach Grady. And that offensive line, as Fritz was talking about, did an incredible job.
Denny, this year, the Los Alamitos defense gave up an average of 8.5 points a game. Tonight, the Griffin defense gave up 37 points, and right there is the loss. And, of course, Mike Vanis and the offensive line of Loyola responsible for that.
And with that, let's go back to Fritz Collins.
Thanks, guys. Well, listen, down here, you can hear it behind me, pandemonium. As I said in the third and fourth quarter break, the key to the victory tonight would be the team that could stop defensively these potent offenses. Of course, it was Loyola that knocked the ball out of Tony Hartley's hands, which would have been a first down, and kept Los Al's drive alive. A gutsy call by Coach Grady ended up being the difference in the game. The fake punt with a little over 5 minutes left. They go ahead, they get the first down, they drive in and kick about a 25-yard field goal, puts them ahead. That was the key to the game. Coach Grady obviously elated. It will be either Bishop Amonte or Long Beach Poly. Those teams lock up tomorrow at Long Beach Vets Stadium. The final will be at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. That's it from down here. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Well, thank you, Fritz. And we're wrapping up a great 1995 season. Los Alamitos, as you can see, the team, a very dejected team on the field right now, and the reverse of that is a very jubilant Loyola team. But Los Alamitos has put together 2 great seasons getting into the semifinals, but unfortunately never getting into the last dance.
There's always next year. The Griffins will look forward to it, Dennis. They're a great football team. As you say, they have a great program, and we wish good luck to the Loyola Cubs on this great victory tonight. We wish them luck in the final.
And a special congratulations to Coach John Barnes and the Los Alamitos Griffins. I'm Denny Siegel, along with Len Venger and Fritz Pollard. We've had a great 1995. The final score, Loyola 37, Los Alamitos 34. Good night, everybody.